foremost, I'd like to welcome everybody to Rapid Dough. It's the home of money conversations. You feel me? This is your host, Don Bucks. I got a special guest today. He needs a pretty dope introduction. I know this guy for a minute. Been doing his thing out here. Credit beast, author. Book has been on the news like none other than Varney Jallah, man. Give it up for Varney Jallah. I ain't got no audience noise. Give it up for Varney Jallah.
Thanks,
What's up,
thanks,
fam?
thanks for having me, man.
It's
No,
it's
just
been a long time coming though.
absolutely, absolutely. I think it's been a couple of years now. We've been talking
At,
about
at
putting this
least.
together. Yeah, for me to come on here so we can chop it up, just talk about the whole credit thing, different things, people in our community can do to improve their credit scores. And so I was kind of glad when you reached out to me, like, yo, we gotta go ahead and do this. Let's put this on the calendar. So
For
now, now,
sure.
now, now we're here. Now we're here. Oh, okay. So, little bit about me. My name is Varney Jallah. I'm the founder, owner of Structured Credit Solutions, where we help individuals just like you that's trying to improve their credit scores to purchase a home, buy a car, start a business. We actually just added another piece onto our program where we help individual small business owners to establish business credit and also build out their profile so they can be able to get funding for their business. So a little background about me. I worked in the financial industry for 10 years. That's how I know Dante. Me and him go way back. We used to be chopping it up about stocks, different things.
Facts.
I think it's probably
Facts.
about a good 15 years. Me and you've been going back and forth about different stocks and everything. So I
That's
worked
a
in the
fact.
financial, yeah, I worked in the financial industry for over a decade. Then from there, I stepped away from it. I started my own consulting firm where I can be able to, help individuals with their credit, be able to help them with business credit. I used to be a licensed realtor as well. So that's just a little bit about me.
Okay. So I remember you was doing the finances, but not credit. What made you hop into the credit? What was the play on that?
So while I was in the financial industry, I was actually, I started doing my homework on the whole credit piece. So anything that you had to get approved for in the financial industry, there was always checking your credit, always checking your credit. Even
Mm,
going to the job, that was one of the requirements. They would check your credit. So a lot of people just don't know that. I think out of the 29 states right now, it's a requirement when you're applying for a job, they will check your credit. So it's simply one of those.
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's simply just one of those requirements. So let's just say me and you have the same credentials. You have your college degree. I have my college degree. We both have the same experience. What it's going to come down to, they're going to pull up your credit report, and then from there, that's going to be like the determining factor to see if you're stable, based off your
Get the
character and all that stuff. Yeah. So they
fuck out of
simply,
here.
yep. So they want to make sure.
Yo, they playing dirty.
This
Yeah.
episode is sponsored by the Breadwinner Society. See, during the pandemic of 2020, a lot of us became entrepreneurs and stock market investors. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of us are out here trying to do it on our own and be on an island. And that can be super frustrating. So what I did was I decided to create a community of like minds that can come together and discuss business ideas, investing ideas, trading ideas. Pretty much more than your money's worth. So somewhere in the description, there's a link. Go ahead and click that link and come build a society.
Yeah. So after I did my little research on there. From there, I started helping friends and families, simply just establishing their credit, different things they can do, and then from there, a lot of people are like, hey, you might want to look into starting your own business because I was doing it for free. It's just stuff just came real natural to me. So I was doing it for free. Then once I stepped away from corporate, I went ahead and opened up my consulting firm where I can help, individuals and small business owners to be able to put them in a position so they can be able to establish credit, build credit, and
That's
so on and so
fire,
forth.
bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can be some like because a lot of us are just getting hip to the credit game. Um, well, let's say someone was, looking to start clearing up their credit. What is some like beginner actionable steps to get someone on the right path as far as like getting their credit together?
Great question, Don. So the first thing you want to do is you want to look at your credit report and believe it or not, a lot of a lot of people are simply just afraid to check their credit report. They simply have that mindset, oh, my credit is messed up, I'm not going to look at it. But that's one of the first things you want to do is check your credit report. And there's actually a law out there called the FCRA law. Simply states that everything on your credit report has to be reported 100% accurate. I'll probably review a few hundred credit reports a month, and you'll be surprised how many inaccurate information people have on their credit report. So it can even be something as simple as, the statute of limitations states that, a negative item has to be in your credit report for 7.5 years. So I'm looking at a lot of these credit reports. It might be an old Sprint bill, old Verizon bill that's outside of that statute of limitations that's on your credit report that's actually affecting your score 60 to 90 points. But if you don't take a look at it and you don't know about these laws, you would simply just keep going on like, oh, well, I have messed up credit. But if you look at your credit report, and just simply, if something is outside of that statute of limitation, a real simple letter you write to the credit bureaus. Hey, I noticed this Sprint bills on my credit report is outside of the statute of limitation. Per this FCRA law, please remove it from your credit report. Boom, it's off your credit report. That could be a 60 to 90 points increase on your credit score. But a lot of us don't know that because it's simply we don't take the first step to look at our credit report.
All right, well, see, that's the thing, right? Why look at the credit report, right? If you don't know the importance of credit. Like you just explained the fact that you might not get a job if your credit is messed up.
Correct.
So what are some other reasons why people need to have their credit intact?
So another thing too, Don, is just simple. Every major milestones in our adult life is going to be based around credit. You want to purchase a home to start building some type of wealth. Your credit is going to be a determining factor. Even your car insurance, the number one determining factor of how much you pay for your car insurance is your credit score. You want to get a job, it's your credit. You want to start getting some type of capital for your business, is your credit. You want to purchase a vehicle, it's your credit. So all these major milestones, based in our adult life is simply based around credit. So I just think that's one of the major important things we have to start educating ourselves on, and that's the reason why. Yeah, so that's the reason why I wrote the book, The Not So Secret Guide. If you go in there, you simply, I know you bought a copy. It simply, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that was another reason why I wrote that book. So I figure if I can't reach, if I can't reach everybody, let me put some type of resource out there that people can go ahead and read and just educate themselves on, the different laws, different things you can do, the factors on your credit scores, and all these different milestones, different things that will affect your credit score. So I just think at the end of the day, this simply just comes down to just educating ourselves on, because in high school, they're not teaching you about this. You go to college, they're not teaching you about this. It seemed like it's a big secret. So that's the reason why I named the book The Not So Secret Guide. It seemed like it's a big secret, just understanding how credit works.
This episode is sponsored by the Breadwinner Society. See, during the pandemic of 2020, a lot of us became entrepreneurs and stock market investors. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of us are out here trying to do it on our own and be on an island. And that can be super frustrating. So what I did was I decided to create a community of like minds that can come together and discuss business ideas, investing ideas, trading ideas, pretty much more than your money's worth. So somewhere in the description, there's a link. Go ahead and click that link and come build a society.
And it even trickles down to this can have an effect on our kids. So simply, there's different things you can do once your kids get a certain age that you can simply give them a head start. If your credit is good, you can give them a head start, and now they can be. Yeah, that right there's another game changer too, man.
You wasn't even. You must have read my question because that was coming.
Yeah, that right there's another game changer because me when I was in corporate, when I graduated college and everything. So now all my counterparts, I'm out there. They were like, yeah, my credit score is this. I'm like, how are you 19, 20? Your credit score is 780. And now I started doing my research on it. So simply what their parents would do once they reach a certain age, like 17, 18, their parents will add them on a credit card. Let's say it's like 20 or 30 years old. So now that's simply now taking their credit age from maybe 1 or 2 years old. Now their credit age is 20 or 30 years old, which is a huge factor. You see what I'm saying? So that right is a huge factor. So now, they're coming out of college, their parents added them on these credit cards. Let's say their parents had a Visa card that's 30 years old and limit on is 30,000. So simply once their parents can add them on that card, now their credit age goes to 30 years old, right? Even though you're 18 years old, but your credit report that your credit age is 30 years old, there you have a credit card that limit is 30,000. Guess what? That right there alone can boost their scores to 740, 760. So another thing with your credit report, it simply is your resume. So once their parents add them on there, so now when they go to the bank and apply for different loans and different credit, the banks are looking at their credit report saying, oh, this person individual, even though they're not paying attention to the age, they're saying their credit age is 30 years old. This bank gave them 30,000. So now the banks will follow suit with that. So now they can get them a credit card without a problem. Now they can be able to get them a mortgage without a problem. So I just think it just simply just comes down to us as a community, just simply educating ourselves on it, different things, and things like that can simply, that can be a head start that we can pass down to our kids. Now our kids don't have to come out of college simply paying 23% for an auto loan. Simply now they don't have to go out there going out there renting an apartment. So now if your parents giving you a head start, you can go out there at the age of 20, 21 and be able to purchase your first home, even a multifamily home. You can go out there and purchase you a multifamily home where you're living for rent free in one and have somebody else paying you rent. And that's just a simple way just to start, giving our kids a head start to start building building generation wealth.
Ooh, that was all bars right there, brother.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh man. You jumped ahead a few questions too. That was dope.
Okay.
So the business credit hack. No, I ain't gonna ask that one yet. I'm gonna say that one for last.
You're gonna make sure they watch the full interview so they get to that.
All right,
end.
so what's okay? So let's say we do start getting our cards and starting to try to build our credit up, right? I know this, but for the people, what's the benefits of using your card over cash?
Great question, man. Believe it or not, it's more safe to use. Is more safe for you to use your credit card compared to using your debit card. Okay. So to answer your question, what's the benefit of you using a card compared to you using what was that, cash you said?
Cash or debit card? What's the benefits of using your credit card? So
it's actually more safe for you to use your credit card compared to using your debit card. So just imagine if you're using your debit card, let's say you go to the grocery store and for some reason somebody hacked the little processing payment thing and someone get access to your debit card and clean out your account, right? So it would take you a whole lot longer. It might take you 3 weeks, probably a month or so to try to get that money back. But if you use your credit card, someone hacks your credit card, you can simply call up your credit card company and let them know, hey, listen, I didn't authorize these charges. Someone hacked my account. And within 24 to 40 hours, they will reverse those charges back and they will send out a new card to you. So it's a whole lot safer for you to use your credit card compared to you using your debit card. And you're using your credit card, that can be a way for you to build credit. So a lot of people think like, hey, I'm using my debit card, I'm paying my cell phone every month. Why is my credit scores not going up? Because that's not helping you build credit at all. Okay, you want to make sure that you're using your debit card. And I think there's another myth out there. A lot of people think like, hey, I don't want to use credit card. Credit card is the devil. But believe it or not, 65% of your scores is based around how you handle revolving credit, which is credit cards. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to answer your questions, it's for one, it's more safe for you to use your credit card compared to you using your debit card. And then from there, it actually helps you build credit by you using your credit card instead of you using your debit card.
And then the caveat that on top of that, don't let you have a rewards card.
Oh man,
now you're getting reward points.
that right there is a whole nother live that we can
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Okay, before we even get into the business credit thing, so it's more advantageous to use your credit card than your debit card or cash for those reasons you just described. So how much of the credit card, because people will get a credit card and max it out, right?
Yeah.
They think it's just free money, right? I did it before. I was 18 years old, got my first credit card, maxed that bitch out ASAP. But how much of a credit card limit should one be using?
Great question, man. There's actually is a myth out there. A lot of people, I'm pretty sure you probably don't came across these memes before, where it says that you have to keep your utilization under 30%. So if you have a credit card for $1,000, ideally the 30% would be the 300, but you're actually leaving a lot of points on the table. So you actually want to keep your utilization under 10%, ideally between 1 to 7%. So just look at it as a report card. So if you're keeping utilization at the 30% is actually like a C. But if you bring it down under that 1 to 7%, under that 10%, that's more like an A. Okay. So I've seen clients where they they went from paying their credit card down to 10% instead of 30%, and their scores jump up 40 to 60 points. So just that's a big range of points you're leaving on the table if you're simply just paying your credit card utilization down to 30%. Ideally, you want to make sure that you're paying it in full every month. So again, that another hack to that, you want to make sure that you're paying your credit card by the statement date. You might want to see if you can probably put this in the comment field or put it out there. So you want to make sure that you're paying your credit card by the statement date. So there's two important dates I want you guys to remember: your statement date and your due date. Your statement date is what the banks will use to calculate your credit score. Your due date is what is the date the banks use to calculate how much interest you're going to pay. Okay, so let's just say you have a credit card for $1,000. Now, let's just say you have a Capital One card, right, for $1,000, and every month, and this is something else that I see all the time. A lot of people say, "Hey, I'm charging my card every month, and I'm paying in full, but my score is not going anywhere. My score is going up and down, up and down, up and down." Here's the reason why: because your statement date comes before your due date. So let's use $1,000 credit card with Capital One, and let's just say Capital One statement date reporting date is the 15th of every month. More than likely your due date will be the 25th. Okay, so if you're using that $1,000 credit card every month, let's say you're putting $300 on it or $500 on it every month, you're paying in full. By the due date, it's too late, because by the due date, Capital One already reported to the credit bureaus that you have a balance of 500 on there. Okay, and that's what they're using to calculate your scores. And by the due date, once you pay it off, even though you're paying it in full every month, it's too late. So you want to make sure you call up Capital One just to make sure. You can check your credit card statement as well. You just want to call up Capital One and say, "Hey, what day of the month do you guys report to the credit bureaus?" If they say, "Hey, we report to the credit bureaus on the 15th," make sure by the 13th and the 14th, the balance on that card is probably $5 or $10. Okay. Then after the 15th, let them report to the credit bureaus. Don, he has a balance of $5 on this credit card. That's what the credit bureaus will use to calculate your scores. Then by the due date, just simply pay it in full. Now you don't have to worry about paying interest. So that right there, that simple strategy, or that play I just gave you guys, that can be a difference in your scores, 40 to 60 points or even more, because now you're simply you're simply playing with the algorithm. Now okay, by the 15th, that's when they're going to report it to the credit bureaus. Let me make sure my balance is, you also want to make sure you want to keep a small amount on there, like $10. Let me make sure they report $10 to the credit bureaus. Now you're still within that 1 to 7%. Then once they report it to the credit bureaus, make sure by the due date, you sweep out the balance. Now you don't have to pay interest on there.
Yo, man, they definitely super secretive about that information.
Yep.
Like, I called him up to ask him that. He was like running me in circles.
Yeah, but you can also go ahead.
I'm like, yo, what's the statement date? Like, so They said they report, this is Navy Federal. No, this is Discovered. They said they report 3 or 4 days after the due date.
Yeah. So now they try to be like real tricky. Just ask them, say, hey, what day, give me a specific day. It's the same date every month. What day do you guys report to the credit bureaus? But another
Ooh,
thing, yeah. So another thing
you
too is
dancing.
another thing too is you might be dealing with a regular rep, and you might have to go to the supervisor. Hey, this client wants to know. So it's not a common question. Most clients are calling in and asking about that. So you just want to make sure you get off the phone, say, hey, what day? Let me know what day of the month do you guys report to the credit bureau to come back and say the 15th. Then you simply just make that small shift. Just on your Discover card, make
Change
sure.
my
There you
auto
go.
pay date.
Yeah, let them report $10 to the credit bureaus, and I promise you, I'll follow up with you. I promise you that small shift right there, you're gonna see your scores start to increase.
Yeah, shit been going crazy lately. I'm excited about my credit score. I can't wait. But
Yeah,
yeah, they dance around that question, man, and I still wasn't clear, but that's what I gathered from what he said. He said they report after the due date. You said sometimes or a lot of times they report before the due date.
correct. Yeah, majority of the time it's before the due date, but I guess technically it's still after the due date because if you go in a little cycle, whatever it is, but it's just call them up and just so you're clear, just ask them, say, hey man, I just want to find out what day of the month do you guys report to the credit bureaus. That's it. Don't let them say, oh well, it's 10 days after the due date. Say, just get a specific date. It's the same date every month. If whatever is the 5th, the 10th, or the 15th, whatever it is, just get that specific date and just make sure by that date, try to do maybe a day or two before it, and just keep a $10 balance on there. Let them report it. Then by the due date, just make sure the balance is paid in full. That way you don't have to pay interest on it, and you're always going to be within that sweet spot, that 1 to 7%.
Mm. Yeah, because he was like, yeah, after you pay your bill, don't use your card because it attack on extra utilization because we didn't report yet. So wait a few days after the due date, maybe a week before you use your card again because it will add on more utilization because we didn't report yet.
Exactly. So another hack too, Don, that you can do, ideally based on your credit algorithm, you want to make sure your overall credit limit is as high as possible. So a lot of people might get afraid of this. You want to make sure your overall credit limit is at least 20,000 and go up to at least 40,000. Okay. So you have to remember, the higher your credit limit is, the higher your scores can go. So a lot of people will have, like $200 credit card, $300 credit card, and they'll always come across this issue. Man, my score is stuck at a 650 or 680, and it haven't increased. It haven't increased because you maxed out that scorecard that you're in. You see what I'm saying? So now from zero to 3,000, the highest your score can go might be 650, 680. So you want to make sure that you're asking the credit cards company to increase your limit every 6 months. So until you can get up to that $20,000 limit. So now from zero to 3,000, you might be able to max out at 650, 680. But once you ask them to increase the limit, guess what? You just broke that ceiling. Now you're in a different scorecard. Now your score can go up to 700, 710. Ask them to increase it again. Once you get up to that $20,000 range, now your scores can hit to 740, 760. Makes sense. So it's more like, yeah, so it's more like gears. You're driving a car. Once you get to a certain gear, in order for you to get to that, in order for you to get to that
gears.
Exactly. So now you just have to ask them to increase it. Once they increase it, you'll notice your score can break that ceiling and go to the next level.
Sweet bars.
Yeah.
Damn. Ooh, he got the sauce. So what, because I noticed it's like 4 different credit scores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Which one is the most important or the most looked at?
The most important, every bank, there's probably, every bank will have which bureau they're gonna look at. But the most important scores that everyone should be checking and using is going to be your FICO scores. So I see a lot of people posting these Credit Karma scores, and some people are like, "Yo, what should think with Credit Karma?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm just out here to give you guys the accurate information. If you're applying for a mortgage, they're not going to check your Credit Karma score. They're going to check your FICO scores, which will be your FICO 5, your FICO 4, your FICO 2. Okay, if you go apply for an auto loan, they're going to check another FICO score. You're applying for a credit card, they have another FICO scores they're going to check. So it's not just one score. And that's the reason I like to tell people to focus on building your profile. Don't focus on the score. Okay. Believe it or not, believe it or not, I can have a 680 credit score. You can have a 720 or 740 credit score. But if my profile is built out properly and correct, the bank will lend to me before they will lend to you. Okay, so you can be young and you can have a 720 credit score. Let's say a couple of authorized user accounts on there, but if your credit age is young, you haven't shown them that you can pay off an auto loan. You haven't shown them that you've been making your payments on time. And you can have a 720 credit score with one late payment. The banks won't touch you. But if I have a 680 credit score and my profile is built out properly, the banks will lend to me before they lend to you.
Credit profiles. So do you recommend somebody to try to do their own, fix their own credit, or would you recommend they seek a professional? Because I mean, that's based off of what I read on page 27 of your book. You was talking about disputing things online, and that's not like the way to go.
Yeah, great.
So without any knowledge, that's people will go ahead and do that.
Yeah, great question. So to answer your question, Don, I would definitely encourage you to do it on your own. Okay, so simply what clients are paying me for is simply to speed up the process for them. So that way they're not making the mistakes. You're simply just paying me for me to map out the game plan for you. So simply just look at me as your coach. And I'm simply every month I'm gonna say, okay, Dante, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I want you to do. I'll give you a game plan. These are things that I want you to do. And then from there, I will handle the dispute process for you. So simply what you're doing if you're doing it on your own, you have to do a lot of research. You have to do a lot of research, figure out how the credit algorithm works, figure out, which letter to send, how to respond back once they send that letters to you. And most people that try to do it on their own, they'll probably go maybe 1 or 2 rounds, they'll give up on it. But at the same time, a lot of people, yeah. So a lot of people will focus on, just the disputing part about it. But if you can go in there and dispute everything off your credit report, it comes off the report. But what about the credit building side of it? Do you understand how that works? Do you understand how to add the positive accounts? Do you understand how many, revolving credit do you need? Do you understand, every 6 months to ask them to increase the limit? So you simply, when you hire someone like me to do it, you're simply just speeding up the process. And you don't have to go through that trial and error trying to figure it out and so on and so forth. Right. So I do encourage.
I'm all about that.
Yeah, exactly. So you're simply paying for a speedy process, but in my program, what I built my program on is 90% education. So by the time you leave my program, you're going to understand, like, this is when I should pay my credit card bill. This is these are the things that I can do. Make sure my payment is on auto payment every 6 months, making sure that I'm asking to increase my limit. So I wanted to build my program around education. Because once you leave my program, I don't want you coming back 6 months later and saying, yo, V, my credit's messed up again. Then you have to repeat the cycle over. So by the time you leave my program, from my one-on-one coaching calls every month, you definitely understand the ins and outs about credit.
Fire. So yeah, you already touched on the how to make the child an authorized user, but I guess I can get into it. What's the play on the business credit that everybody talking about? It's a lot of scamming going on out here. It's a lot going on. The streets is talking about business credit. What's the proper way to go about this business credit play?
I'm not even going to beat around the bush with the business credit thing. At the end of the day, So a lot of people, business credit is the wave now. So a lot of people are teaching you, yeah, you can build business credit. You don't have to do the personal guarantee, blase, blase. There's absolutely, if your personal credit is not good, there's no way you'll be able to get some type of funding for your business. Okay, so there's two ways you can build business credit. You can do the personal guarantee route, where your personal credit has to be at least a 680. Then that way you can be able to get access to capital that you can use. Or you can go to net 30 routes. Okay, the net 30 routes is simply you're getting the Granger accounts, the Uline accounts. There's some other net 30 accounts you can simply build out your business credit profile that way. But the only thing you're going to qualify by you building it out, with just the net 30 accounts, the only thing you're going to qualify is going to be a Sam's Club card, a Home Depot card, which you can only use, at Home Depot, Sam's Club. You can get you a couple of gas cards that you can simply use at the gas station. But if you build it out the proper way, where your personal credit is good, then from there you can personal guarantee it. A lot of people, are pushing, you don't have to personal guarantee it, you don't have to personal guarantee it. But for the most part, people that usually pushing, you don't have to personal guarantee it, unless you plan on, taking this money and running, then why should you be afraid of personal guarantee it? So like a legit business owner that's looking to be in business for a long time, in my personal guaranteeing, you getting access to funds that you can use to grow your business. And you also have to put yourself in the bank's shoes. So if you're the bank and I walk in there, I'm a new business owner. I don't have any revenue coming in. I don't have any tax return coming in. And I come to you, I say, hey, Don, I need 60,000. And my LLC, I just established it. My personal credit, is trash. And now I'm coming to you to give me, 60 to 80,000. Will you feel comfortable lending that money to me?
Hell to the no.
Yeah. So you have to put yourself in the bank's shoes. So the banks will lend to you if your personal credit is good. Or if you can show them, hey, this is my last 2 years of tax return. Okay, this is my revenue that I have coming in. Okay, then the banks will feel a little bit more comfortable lending to you. So a lot of people are simply, on the business credit wave now, simply saying, yeah, you can build out your business credit with no personal guarantee. So they're simply just setting up a bunch of net 30s accounts for you with these things. But the only thing you're going to qualify for, again, it's going to be a Sam's Club card that you can use at Sam's Club. It'll be a Home Depot card that you can use. But for you to really get to the bag, you're going to have to, your personal credit is going to have to be good, or you're going to have to show the banks last 2 years of, tax return, and show them that you have, revenue coming in, your P&L statement. So they're definitely going to, drill you on that piece of it. But if you can build out your personal credit, you can definitely be able to get the capital that you need. And even if you want to purchase a vehicle in your business name, you have that option to do that as well. Okay. So at the end of the day, you simply want to make sure that the whole point of business credit is for you to get more capital, pretty much doubling your borrowing power. Okay. So now if you can get you about 60 to 80,000 under your business credit, right? And now if you can go to the dealership, get you a Mercedes, Audi, whatever you want to get under your business credit. That's another factor too, is a lot of people purchase vehicles in their personal name for their business, affecting their debt to income ratio. So now if you got a $30,000 vehicle under your personal credit, that's going to drop your scores, and that's going to limit how much the banks will give you. So let's just say you went out and cop you a $30,000 or $40,000 vehicle. Now in the same year you want to purchase a home, that's going to affect how much the banks will approve you for your mortgage. So, but if you can simply shift everything over to your business credit, put that $30,000 or $40,000 loan under your business, then from there you have the access to capital that you can pull, get from the banks under your business. Nothing's reflecting on under your personal credit. So if you just simply, let's just say your personal credit is good. Let's say you open up 3 LLCs and you're able to get 80,000. That's almost $250,000 that you have access to, simply because your personal credit is good. So the whole business credit is a whole nother game changer. So if you're a small business owner, I definitely encourage you to look into it. But again, just be extremely careful I think cats out here charging 1,500, 3,000 or even more for them to get you access, build out your business credit profile. But it's real simple. If you guys want to link up with me, I can walk you guys through the process on how to go about doing that. But I definitely encourage you to make sure your personal credit score at least a 680. That will speed up the process and actually be able to get you the capital that you can use, and not a bunch of net 30s accounts that you get approved for a Home Depot card.
So I guess one of my last questions is in regards to business credit. Like when you're using, let's say you get business credit, you got a business credit card. Is the utilization the same as personal, or there is no utilization limit on business credit cards?
So great. That's a phenomenal question. So with business credit cards, right? So say you get a $25,000 credit card for Navy Federal under your business, right? You can take that $25,000 business credit card up to 24,000, right? As long as you continue to make the payments, it won't affect your business credit. If you take that same card and get it on the personal side, you max it out to 24,000, you'll see your score is going to drop 90 to 120 points, even more, simply by maxing it out. So based on how the business credit algorithm sets up, as long as you make your payments on time, they're real big on payment history. As long as you're making your payments on time, utilization is not a big factor when it comes down to business credit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wheels are turning. Yo, you gave some fire today, son.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't wait for the people to get this.
Mm-hmm.
How could people get in touch with you and get a hold of your book? Like, how can people tap in with you, man? Give me your handles and all that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so you can find my book on Amazon, The Not So Secret Guide to Boost Your Credit Scores. You can also find me on Instagram under Structure Credit Solutions. That's my business page on there. You guys can find me on Facebook under Varney Jallah. So all my profiles are open. You guys can go ahead and check it out. But like I said, I'm here to help, man. If you guys want to build your personal credit or even start establishing business credit, just go to my profile. Just click the link in my bio. I'm pretty sure Dante would probably drop my handle in once he posts this, so you guys can just reach out to me. Schedule a consultation call. It's free. No, I'm not charging for consultation. And that way we can map out the game plan to see what we have to do to improve your personal credit or even start building your business credit to establish some type of funding.
Appreciate everything, man. It was all bars today, like all bars. Like, hey, you super welcome back at any time, man. When you get some more gems you want to drop, anytime you welcome on Rapping Dope, man. You hear me?
I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. I'm pretty sure I'm working on some other projects too for the New Year's. So I'll definitely tap in with you to see.
Definitely.
Maybe we can schedule another call and get on there and see, we can go from there.
Any previews? Any previews? What you working for? Any previews? What we got?
It's going. I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. So okay. I'm working on it. Of course, I'll text you. I'll text you on that.
Let me know. I need to know the sauce. I need the sauce.
Yeah, no. I'm definitely gonna link you. I'll text it over to you. But so we got a lot of great things coming in 2022. So like I said, we definitely have to get back on here. And
sure.
Thanks again for having me.
All right, bro, man. I appreciate you, man. I'll see you on the next one. All right.
Take care.
Peace.